Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar, and welcome back to Phantasy Star Universe Clementine. So, it has been quite a while since we last checked in on the server here, even though I have been keeping up with things in terms of the different level caps that have come out since launch. I figured today was just going to be a good day for us to go ahead and check things out, since this has actually been kind of a quiet week in terms of what's going on for Phantasy Star-based news. We're not certain if there's actually going to be a data on Arks this week or not at this point. But come on, walk with me here. We were just in the Falls Memorial. We're actually going to head back to the city here, back to Clia's city. And basically there's one thing I want to do before we really get started here today. Before we really get into grinding up to the new level cap, which is 75, and that is we're going to make our way over to Parum. For a little pickup that we need to make here, so that I can really start doing my job as a forte gunner here. And for that, we need to head over to the Guardians branch. And here we are in the Holta City branch, and we're gonna choose to take on a mission here. Although it's kind of weird with Phantasy Star Universe because there are missions that don't actually take you into like battle scenarios. Instead, what they do is they allow you to acquire different abilities above and beyond what you would normally be able to get from the shops, and that's what this bullet license mission is. We have loot here, and basically they're going to allow us to exchange PA fragments for bullet discs. So if we just go into here real quick, let's see. This here has just a sheet here that basically tells you how many PA fragments you need for each of the different types of bullets that you can get. And there's one in particular that I want to get before we really get into things here today. And for that one, we're going to be taking a look at the Rifle Killer Shot. Now this one costs 90 PA fragments, and that's a lot because you get PA fragments through a couple of methods here. One method is to go after titles for taking out different bosses. So, for example, if you were to take down 5 of the Dragon, then you would be able to get some PA fragments from that, and 5 of other bosses would get you more PA fragments from there. The other way to get them is to complete S-rank missions, and S-rank missions came out very recently, within the past couple of weeks. And so I was able to collect enough PA fragments to get myself the Killer Shot here, and that's what we're going to purchase now. And there we go. And with that in hand, we're going to exit the mission. And now we're going to go into the menu, and we are going to actually get that equipped here. So we need to use it. The description of this is low damage shots, but with a chance to incapacitate. And what that means is basically, anytime I fire a shot now through my rifle, there is a chance that I could do a one-hit kill on an enemy. And this is basically the rifle photon art that I used up until the end of when the official servers went down. So let's go ahead and learn that. And now we're going to equip that on our burst. And there we go. With that in hand, we are now going to make our way back over to Clia's City and back over to the Falls Memorial, because that is where everybody is currently leveling up to get from level 70 to 75. It is a mission called the Fantastic Voyage, or actually just Fantastic Voyage. And that basically provides some of the best experience that you're going to find, even though technically it's only an A-rank mission. And that's why I wanted to take care of the PA fragment exchange first here, so that I could start leveling up my rifle bullet here as we were going through this, because I'm not going to be getting any PA fragments again until I hit level 75, essentially. So, let's head over to the Falls Memorial. And you might note that I did swap out some of the music here, and the reason I did that is because Rose Confession is actually causing issues with Content ID on YouTube, and so I wanted to get ahead of that here, and instead I switched it out for the instrumental version with you from Phantasy Star Universe. Anyway, let's see if we can jump into a party here. Okay, so looks like most of the parties are filled up, but we do have this one of 2 players here, so we'll go ahead and jump into that one. And you might be noticing that this area looks kind of unique for Phantasy Star Universe. This is actually an area that was exclusive to the Japanese version of it, when certain missions got ported over from Phantasy Star Portable 2 Infinity over into Phantasy Star Universe before the servers finally came to a close. So this is the spaceship Crowley, I believe, if I remember correctly. Actually, I should double check to see if they're already in a different block, and in fact, it looks like they are. So let me backtrack a little here. Sacred Ark Crowley, I think, actually, is what it's called. But yeah, this was something that was never available on the U.S. European servers for Phantasy Star Universe in either the PlayStation 2 PC version or the Xbox 360 version, if I remember correctly. Let's see here. Hopefully we can catch up to the group here fairly quickly. And as you can see, we do have these environmental guns here. They can be taken out if you want to, but most parties just leave them up. Here we go. Alright, so we got some Deljaban here. And actually, I need to switch my weapon over to my burst so I can actually start using that bullet. But yeah, it's been a while since we checked this out. I think the last time that we were looking at this, it was around launch time, actually, for the server. Let's see, that would have been around the time when the level cap was still 40 or 50, I think. So it has definitely been quite a while. During that time, there has already been an event on the server dealing specifically with Christmas, whereby you had some ice-based seed essentially freeze over the Mizuraki CD area. And through that, I was able to get my first S-rank line shield, which is actually a pretty cool one. The stats aren't the best on it, but what's really nice about it, if we go under here, is it actually has... it has all 4 slots available to be used here. So I've got that filled out with pretty much everything that I could possibly want at this point. And hey, Xantz, how you doing today? Xantz, I know you've been on the server in the past. I'm not sure if you've caught up with everybody else yet or not. All right, and there we go. Killer shot. Whoops. All right, that needs a escape doll. And another hit. Okay, yeah, I am really hoping we do get the resist Vajiri in the future, because those Migid can get really annoying. Gotcha. Well, hopefully you're able to get yourself leveled up. I mean, this is actually a good mission for you to level up, and to be honest, here, Xantz. Oh my goodness. Yeah, resist Vajiri, it basically makes it so that you cannot be one-shot by an attack like that. But yeah, if you want to join us here, Xantz, this would be a great mission for you to level up in, since this is going to carry me up to 75 as well. Yeah, I've been thinking about the Giga Bullet save. It might be one of the next purchases I make. I think I'm gonna keep myself out of turret mode though, just so I have a better chance of avoiding those Megid balls. Let's get to the other side of the room. And I'll also admit that the one-hit kill isn't going to be as effective on enemies like this as it is with mechs. That's kind of where they really this bullet really specializes in terms of usefulness. So if you're going up against missions featuring, say, the Engine Collective, that's where you're really going to find the most use out of a bullet like this. But we still need to level it up, and that's where using it in a mission like this is actually going to make it easier to level up, just because you'll be able to blow through everything you got in a single run, in terms of like photon charges and things like that. The thing that I'm a little concerned about here is I don't know with 2 players if we're actually going to be able to finish this or not. But hopefully more players will join us eventually here. Of course, one thing I'm also looking to get with leveling this up, of course, is also to get its accuracy and power up. That'll also help it along here as well. Especially because the way that rifle bullets work is they become more effective as you level it up. So, for instance, let's say I'm looking to just put a target on fire. Well, the way that you could do that with a rifle is to level up the photon bullet that you've got attached to it. And I think at level 11, its effectiveness level ups once, and then at level 21, it levels up again. And at that point, at 21, it then becomes a status level 3. So, and that's going to make it connect more often. But for these guys here, I just want to lock them down with grenades if I can. Just keep stunning them over and over. That way, they're not getting much of a chance to actually get their attacks off. There we go. Alright, so for this one, actually, I'm just going to sit over here, and I'm just going to take pot shots at them. I know it's cheap, but you know what? I also look at it as a big brain play. I mean, if the attack is going to reach, why risk my own skin? Ah, that's a shame. It's weird. Those Megid bullets are being more effective than they typically are. Let me. I'm gonna have to return to the lobby actually here, since they're. I think they're locked in that area. Usually I can go around 3 or 4 Megid bullets before I actually go down, but for some reason they're just being more effective today. That might have something to do with luck. I'm not 100% certain on that. Am I in the right block? Or did we never hit the switch? That might be what happened. So I'll make sure to hit the switch again once I get over there. Or no, there is no switch. Okay. That explains that then. But yeah, as you can see, their Mega Balls do reach pretty far out. Okay, it looks like it's just these two left. And then the second wave should show up after that. There they are. A couple of Svoltus. My grenade can reach. It looks like it does. Yeah, this is the attack I have to watch out for here. Alright, looks like we got a couple more players coming in, so we should have a better chance of actually taking out the boss here. And hey, I see you in here now, Zance. Glad you're able to join. And there they are! Basically the final boss of the game here, Dark Falls. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use up my killer shots to keep leveling that up here. Yeah, it's nice when he just stands around like that and doesn't actually attack. Now I'm watching for a certain attack to start up here. There it is. So I use my sub weapon at this point. And hey, I don't take a hit. That's the power of that sub weapon. Apparently I've been slowed or something here. There we go. Alright, level 8 on the killer shot. He's going to be coming across the platform again after this attack. There he goes. And down goes Dark Falls. And an A rank from that, and that's expected, given that I had to duck out and come back in. Alright, out to the Falls Memoria. Let's restock on scapes and photon charges. And trimates as well. So it's a little expensive to do it this way, but ultimately I think it outweighs the, I think the benefits outweigh the negatives in the end here. Alright. Alright, so we're just waiting for the party leader to start this up again. There we go. Alright, and back onto the burst. Now, there's no real indicator of the attack actually working. It's more, the enemy just goes down a lot quicker than it normally would, essentially. Alright, level 9. bunch of rare drops there. Well, rare in the sense that they're red, I guess. Alright, on to the next section here. For this, you can just kind of hug the sides and you won't get hit by the bullets coming through. And yes, if you haven't realized it yet, yes, this is the same section of music that plays from the Dragon Altar in Phantasy Star Online 2. It was another section that Sega decided to reuse. Yeah, as I was saying before, we're kind of in a really quiet zone with Sega right now in terms of them giving out really any kind of news at this point. We're essentially waiting on Sega to do a couple of things here. There is an upcoming Japanese stream, PSO2 Live Plus, which is they're going to be going over the new content that's going to be coming out over the next month or so with that. On the Japanese side. I think part of that was going to include the upcoming refinements to Ark Ship Fire Swirl, as well as the new photo shooting mode, whatever that is going to be. And then we're also waiting for word on when we're going to find out who got into the Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis closed beta test. So it'll be basically we're kind of waiting for Sega to say what's going on. That plus we don't know exactly what's going to be happening just yet for PSO2 Global at this point. We do know that there is a Valentine's urgent quest coming up starting next week, which is going to be Where the Chocolate Went. It's basically the yearly Valentine's urgent quest that Sega puts out. But in terms of additional content beyond that, we don't know if, for instance, say, Chapters 5 and Chapter 6 are going to be released. We don't know if Divide quests are going to be released. There's a lot that we just don't know right now. In terms of what Sega's thinking for both the Japanese and the global versions at this point here, and so that's kind of why we're holding off on Daedon's Arcs, at least for right now, unless we can come up with a topic for tomorrow. And even with the update to Clementine, that really wouldn't be enough for us to really be able to put on a show to just cover that. The show would basically be over in 15 minutes, essentially. So we're more than likely going to cover this update in the next Day Dance arcs, whenever that is, even if it isn't this week. Even for Adola, there's like one small update of a new character, and that's it for Global. So as I was saying before, the one thing that we're kind of waiting on here is Resist Vajiri to come out, which prevents one-hit kills from occurring from Mega Balls and things like that. The problem is, the only way to actually get it, at least unless the drop tables have changed, or are going to change in the future, they would drop from Carl F. Hauser. And since we do not have access to story mode, it's unknown really how anybody's going to be able to pick that up in this version of Phantasy Star Universe. Once again, I'm doing my big brain play here. Just standing off to the side. Level 12, so actually this thing should be hitting a little bit more frequently now in terms of getting the special effect off, which is to do a one-hit incapacitation. So the sword attacks I'm not worried about, it's the fireball I am. The sword attack, since it travels on the ground, and since there's no connecting ground over there, that's the thing I have to watch out for. Alright, he's a little bit far out there, so I'm gonna... Oh, they're down. Okay. Never mind then. Hey, we got a 5th coming in. Nice. Alright, here we go. And looks like we just had a 6th join us as well here, so we've got a full party now, so these runs should be going a little bit quicker. Alright, I'm out of photon charges, so I'm going to switch over to my grenade at this point. A little too close to him there. But yep, that's another run down. This time with an S rank. Like I said, this does get expensive doing these runs here, especially if I do happen to go down and have to use up escape doll, because at that point I'm not going to make back what I spent over the previous run. But in the end, it's not that bad. I've got enough in me that I could still do what I think, if I wasn't earning anything, about 30 runs, I think. Before I would really have to worry. Not that I think this is going to take 30 runs to get done here today. I'm thinking, let's see, at the rate we're going, it's probably actually going to be something closer to 25 or so. So we're done with 2 so far. And I don't think I'm going to get through all the runs here during the stream. But we're going to get through a good number of them. Especially now that we've got a full party with us here. But yeah, a lot of the new content that was released this week, unfortunately, is locked behind the level 75 cap. And that has to do with all the bosses that are now available as S ranks. So it's kind of like you have to go to level 75 in order to kind of get to the next tier of missions here. But the other reason I did want to get started on this here today, even though the patch just came out last night, with the way things kind of run with this game, you kind of have to keep up with the content as it comes out, or else you're not going to really have the help that you're going to need to get yourself leveled up quickly. That is, unless you've got somebody that's actually actively helping you to level up. Like, trying to take this mission on with just a single player, it would be very hard. And would also take forever, and that's why I was hoping when we had started this that we were going to be in a group of 6. Obviously, that wasn't the case. We joined a group of 3, and then it dropped down to 2. But I'm hoping this group stays together, at least for a good while. Actually, somebody's saying something here. Let's see. Okay, so somebody might be dropping out here then, shortly. That might have been a one-shot there, I'm not sure. But yeah, one of the biggest pieces of advice I could tell you, if you're playing a ranged class, use the environment to your advantage. So, like how I'm standing here, nothing that can hit for melee is going to hit me over here. They basically have to walk around the area to get to me, and they're not going to do that because their AI isn't smart enough to do that. At least not in this game. And same with Phantasy Star Online. The AI for enemies really wasn't that smart. Even to PSO2 to a degree, it's still a little bit. It's not as smart as it should be. But Sega kind of overcame some of that just by allowing enemies to kind of jump over different areas. Similar to how they allowed players to do that as well. I used to like to make a joke about how Sega doesn't know how to make a multi-level structure, and it really is true, because in both Phantasy Star Online and Phantasy Star Online 2, you could never have one player standing on top of a different level in an area that another player is standing under them. That's just one of the limitations of the game engine that they use. And in the past, I think I've said this, but I still believe that even to this day, PSO2 is just a heavily modified PSO engine. Zance, PSO or PSO2? Hey Genesis, how you doing today? Or is it Genesis 13? I keep getting confused about that. Yeah, PSO2, you really kind of have to know how enemies work, where they're going to go and things like that, to be effective as a hunter. And I'll admit that endgame hunter is not an easy thing to do. Especially because of the limitations of how strong your attacks are. They're just nowhere close to being as strong and as frequent as some other classes are. Like, you look at Luster, that thing can just keep on DPSing as fast as it wants to. But Hunter was really what I learned to play in that game. Ranger is what I learned to play in Phantasy Star Online and Phantasy Star Universe. Alright, they are both back in the corner, so I got no choice. I gotta get in there. Alright, we have once again made it to the end boss here. Once again, I'm always keeping my eyes open for whenever I start to see meteors coming around me. That's when I'm going to fire off my sub-weapon. There they are. Now the only problem now is he actually has a chance to do it again later in this fight since he did it so early. And I'm not going to have the sub-weapon to protect me that time, if that happens. That is, unless I happen to rebuild it quick enough. But that may or not happen. Alright, down they go. And Killer Shot just leveled up again. Up to level 16, it looks like. So we're definitely making good progress on it, and I remember one of the patches that was done fairly recently increased the rate at which they leveled up, so that's definitely helping out here. Alright, my bank is, or my inventory is getting pretty full here, so let me sell some of the stuff I don't need. And the rest I'm just going to start throwing into storage here. There we go, that frees up some space. Now, something else that you might be noticing here with these enemies is they might be looking a little higher quality than they typically do. And that's because in the past couple of months, there was an HD texture pack released, which is basically helping to make these enemies look even better than they ever did when the official servers were around. So that was something I was more than happy to install. It caused a little bit of lag when the enemies first load in, because of the size of the file. But I think the better looks more than outweighs the small little lag that there is. And just for reference, I am on an M2 or M.2 SSD here, so that the lag does exist even with that. If anybody's interested in picking that up, you can find that on the PSU Clementine forums. Picking up a couple of boards here. That's always nice. But yeah, if you were interested in leveling up, the Christmas event was really the time to do it. During that event, aside from the fact that there was the specialized mission going on, there was also a 2x experience boost going on. And the Christmas mission had its own boost going as well, so you could get effectively a 2.5 times experience boost during that thing. So yeah, that was definitely the time to have been on if you wanted to get yourself leveled up. Granted, you could only get up to level 69 at the time, but it was that was what the level cap was, essentially. And since then, it's now increased up to 75. Oh, and I think I missed it before, but congrats, Ants, on hitting 67 there. This is always kind of a fun block, the way that it loops around you. You kind of have to come back to the first room in order to finish it up. 17. As you can tell, I am all about those Meseta drops. Especially because, like I said before, this is kind of expensive to level this bullet up. The Voltus are up. And they're getting pushed into the corner again. And congrats against there, Xance. Alright, here we go. Alright, they're going to be coming back. And apparently I was their target. Alright, there's meteors. down goes Dark Falls again. Oh hey, we got a silence resist. Nice. And that was nice. We actually made a little bit of money on that one. That was interesting looking with them loading in their stuff. Yeah, I remember Marmalade was saying that that there's apparently there's an issue with players over in the UK right now, whereby the connection isn't that stable. So I wonder if that's where those players might be located. You know, I need to reorganize that already. Add the palette. Let's just move that up there instead. And hey, we just hit level 71. It's kind of funny how he was flapping up and down there. Hey there, Hazen. How you doing today? Glad to hear it. Somebody else just leveled up there. Got a lot of people leveling up right now, actually, it looks like. Yeah, with Phantasy Star Universe, party composition wasn't too important, but you did still want to have certain party members in your group. For example, you wanted to have at least one force-type character, just so you could get your buffs up and have them up constantly. Under the best of conditions, you would have somebody that would be sort of dedicated to dealing status effects to enemies, and then of course you would have somebody that's constantly trying to go for your one-shots, which is kind of the role that I fall into. And then the rest of the composition wasn't too important, but generally you would want to have that filled out by usually hunter-type characters. And when I say hunter, I mean including your Forte Fighters and your Phi Masters and things like that. Just because they would sort of become your big damage dealers in the group. So that way, if you weren't getting the one-shot luck, at least you'd still be able to take enemies down quickly. The group we've got here seems to be a little bit more heavily focused towards ranged classes, actually. But then again, that would be more for your top-end content, things like Bruce's Dungeon and things like that. That's where you would really need a good composition like that. Alright, bullet level 20. So one more and we'll be at level 21 on the killer shot. I'm out of charges, switching over to my grenade. And there we go. Alright, looks like we got one player dropping out, but that's fine. I think we broke even on the Meseta for that run. Okay, Zance. Somebody just leveled up there. Grind your base S, nice. Those are always nice to have around. And there we go, Killer Shot 21. So now if I take a look at the photon art, we can see that Incapacitate is now at level 4. So that is good to go at this point here. So we got a much higher chance of Incapacitate going off now. Once again, though, it's going to be most effective against mechs, and not necessarily living targets. And that's just because mechs generally have lower endurance than living targets do. And it's actually the same for casts. Endurance is one of the weak spots of casts, actually, compared to the fleshies here in Girl. But once again, if we can get the Resist Vajiri out, then all those one-shot attacks, they're not going to do anything anymore, and then at that point, then you just have to worry about status effects. Now, one thing I am hoping to eventually do with this series here on Clementine is to eventually do what I'm going to call world tours, where we're basically going to take an episode and just kind of run through the different missions on a particular planet. And depending upon how many players we have, we may not do that at the highest difficulty. We may step it down a difficulty or two just to make sure that, you know, we're completing them within a reasonable time. But still kind of show the different locales that are available on each of the planets. Looks like I'm running out of photon charges a little bit early this time here. Alright, Killer Shot level 22, and I am out. Let's get in there and try some grenade shots. I'll be able to get one more round out of it, just because of the recharge spot, but we're going to be switching to grenades pretty quickly in the Dark Falls fight this time. Alright, let's fire away. And I'm out. Let's move on to the grenade. That spot right there is kind of the best way to hit Dark Falls with grenades, since you're going to be able to lock into multiple targets there. And down they go. Nothing too special in the drops, but we did just reach Forte Gunner level 13, which is different from PSO2 in that you have both class as well as character levels in Phantasy Star Universe. So that right there just gave me another boost of attack power there, as well as some other stats. Yeah, and as you can tell, the those grenades that those other players are using have kind of a special effect in that they have a different sound effect, as well as kind of do that the more you know star coming out of them. It's always kind of fun to see that. Buccaneer, that's one of the more common drops you're going to find inside this area at on the A rank. It's more or less, I think it's a saber, a 9-star, I think. So as you can imagine, with everybody running this to level up, there's going to be a bunch of those on the market. Killer Shot level 23. Getting pushed back again, so in we go. Alright, so it looks like I'll have one extra charge to use for Dark Falls. Alrighty, let's get this done. Yeah, so you can already see because of the class boost. Now I'm hitting for over 600 per head attack, when before I was only getting around the high 500s. Alright, I'm out. Oh, I got stunned, so I couldn't get it off. That's not good, I'm going down. But that's what escape dolls are for. Okay, got a Skella. That is a, that's an S-rank weapon, and I think that's a fist weapon? Let me double check. Yeah, it's a Knuckles weapon. think we'll do just a couple more runs of this, maybe 3. We'll see. Yeah, so this is kind of a good example of how, as long as you position yourself well, you're not really in any danger of being attacked by certain enemies, even if you kind of are their target. Alright, looks like I'm out, so I'm actually gonna get in there and grab my grenade. Alright, on to Falls. Ooh, how did that happen? Alright, Killer Shot is at level 25. And onto my grenade. That's an S rank. And yeah, I think we'll make this the last run.
いらっしゃいませ。何をお買いになりますか？ありがとうございました。
There's another Buccaneer. Like I said, these are dropping all over the place right now. I think I got like another 5 or 6 of them in storage right now that I don't know when I'm ever going to actually try synthesizing them. And hey, Zeomantic, how you doing today? Doing well, can't complain. Oh, and Zance, I think you leveled up. Yeah, Clementine, they came back just a couple of months ago, and we're already now at the level 75 level cap. That's what I'm in the process of leveling up to. Once I do, then I'll have access to S-rank missions that have bosses in them. And the nice thing about those is you're basically able to get 2 Proton Art or PA fragments out of each of the runs that you do in those. Oh, got one more back over here. Or not anymore, I guess. Gotcha. Yeah, there's a good bit of content that's come out since, at least in terms of level caps and such. So, whenever you feel like it, just go ahead and pop in. And there's another Buccaneer. And just to clarify, these are the boards that are coming out, not the actual weapon. And hey, level 72, nice. Alright. All we have to do now is take down Falls, and then we're gonna be done. Alright, I am out. Onto the grenade. Down goes Dark Falls. That it is, Zeomantic. Guess we'll go ahead and fire this off this time since we're getting out of here. Alright. Let me just refill all my charges again. Yeah, I remember the old channel. It was, if I remember correctly, that was actually where I think that was where I first met Ida, actually. I think it was on EFNet or something like that. Anyway, let me tell these people I'm dropping out. Actually, there might have been two back in the day, now that I think about it. Yeah, it's been a while since since back then. Dark Epion. Yeah, I think I remember your name. I just don't remember if we interacted that much back then. But yeah, so we've returned to my room here so that I can go ahead and drop off some of the stuff that I picked up into storage. And even my storage is starting to get a little bit full there, so at some point I'm gonna have to start figuring out what I want to keep, what I want to get rid of. But we do have this exclamation mark here above the console here, and that means I've got a title reward waiting. And I've got Small Fortune, Dark Falls Final Slayer. So we got 2 from all the work we did here today. Small Fortune. That gives me a Kakuwane suit. And Dark Falls Final Slayer gives me a PA fragment. So let's see here. And hey, finally! It's one that's actually built for cast! So, up until now, I've only been able to find Kakuwane suits that were for non-cast, but now I've actually got one that I can wear. Nice! And actually, I got 5 PA fragments from that. Let's just go ahead and put that on here real quick, so I can show you what that looks like. Looks like it's a blue one. Yep, here we go. So this is the Kakuwane suit that cast can wear, or at least the one that I've found so far. It's a good-looking suit. That's for certain. But yeah, that is pretty much gonna do it for me here today. Sorry you jumped in kind of late here, Zeomantic, but it's, yeah, I've been going for about 2 hours at this point, and it's, honestly, with the grind I still have to do, I've still got about another 3 or 3.5 hours to go on that grind, and, I need to take a break at this point here, so, but yeah, it's, next week, we're gonna have, more coming out with PSO2, as I mentioned before. We're looking at the Valentine's event there. Possibly more story, possibly Divide Quest as well. We should find out some more information later this upcoming week about that. And then, hopefully very soon, we'll be finding out if myself or Xance or anybody else managed to get into the PSO2 New Genesis closed beta test, because we're starting to come up on that, where they said it was going to be sometime in late January to early February, so hopefully we're going to get the announcement about that very soon. And yeah, I didn't see anything about an NDA in the terms, so I'm hoping we'll be able to broadcast if that's the case. But yeah, it's exciting times coming up here, everyone. So. But with all that, let me see if there's anybody that I can pass you off to here. Is anybody actually, anybody else streaming? Looks like we got, one person that's streaming right now, Engo Skills, so, since they're the only other ones streaming right now, why don't I go ahead and pass you over to them? So let me get their name. And let me put that into my system here. Great channel. Alright. And so with all that said, thank you for joining me today. This is PrinceBrightstar signing off. Let's get this raid started here. And yeah, I agree with you there, Zeomantic.